how's it going, everyone? Welcome to The Real for Real. If this is your first time checking us out, we appreciate you tuning in. And if you're watching this video, please do like and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy. This movie was directed by Malcolm D. Lee. This movie is starring the four-time NBA champ Lebron James, arguably the GOAT.
LeBron James. I gotta throw the meme out there.
Yeah, and the visual effects was done by Lucasfilms. They used Industrial Light and Magic for the visual effects of this movie. So, man, all right, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm not looking to rip this movie apart. This is a kid's movie at the end of the day. I saw the aggregated score for Rotten Tomatoes was 32%. And people are going kind of hard on this movie, man. It's a kid's movie at the end of the day, and I guess just we'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it. It's just
I mean,
I don't want to be the one to rip this movie apart. I like Malcolm D. Lee as a director. He did The Best Man Holiday. He's done movies I like. You got Ryan Coogler, who was a producer for this movie as well, which is another person I like. So,
and Keenan Coogler, I think, was on the writing team. It was a good number of writers, but I was looking through the...
So you got some black excellence in this movie that's kind of putting this together. So I don't want to be the one to tear apart a kid's movie that they did. And,
look, it may be black people who are behind it, which I'm all for.
Right.
But that don't mean we can't hold them to the standard.
I feel you.
I agree with you, though, like, at the same time with just going ahead and putting that disclaimer out. This movie was made for kids.
For kids.
So I'm going to tell everybody at home who's our age, everybody who grew up on this, and shut up. It ain't for you.
It's not for you.
Like the movie is not for us. We are fans of LeBron.
I'm a fan of LeBron. I'm a fan of Space Jam. This movie clearly is not as good as the first Space Jam.
Oh, okay. All right. See, this is exactly what I'm trying to stop right here.
Hold on.
Y'all watching it with your rose-colored lenses because you looked at the other Space Jam and you was like, man, but that was fire. It worked for our time period because we were still sitting around and watching, Looney Tunes cartoons at the time.
But this one has good things about it that's a little bit better than the first Space Jam too, though. So that's what I say. Like, we'll talk about the positives, we'll talk about the negatives. But I will say off top though, like, the good thing about this movie, Warner Brothers intellectual properties. The bad thing about this movie, Warner Brothers intellectual properties.
Some of the additions were a little...
They're just throwing it in our face.
A little risky.
But let's get into it, man. Like, this movie was pretty dope, actually, man. Like, for me, like, I thought they were pretty creative with it, with doing, like, the whole video game thing, technology. You got the serververse, you got the Warner 3000, which is like basically sucking people into the video game world. So that was cool. That was creative.
So for me, we sat and watched it. Me and my wife watched it last night.
Yeah. And
for me, it was really good. Well, I ain't gonna say really good. It was it was entertaining. For what it was entertaining. When I wasn't trying to compare it to the other Space Jam. And wasn't sitting there trying to hold that up in such esteem. For what it was, I was like, if I had a kid sitting at home that was supposed to be watching this, who was a LeBron James fan, the same way I was a Michael Jordan fan, disclaimer, I was more a Kobe fan than Michael Jordan. But watching it at the time, understanding the hype surrounding Jordan. Like if I had a kid at this, I think a small kid that was the same age I was watching Space Jam would watch this and find it enjoyable at least.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it'll be enjoyable. The kid ain't gonna have no issue. That's what I mean when I say it was good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough for, I think, what its target audience was.
Did you like the 2D to 3D animation?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it made sense. So, like, that's my initial thoughts going into it. I thought that they made necessary changes for the child of this era.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I like the technology aspect. So you got Algorithm, Algae Rhythm, Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I thought that was clever. A clever play on that.
I guess I'm assuming we're in positives.
Yeah, we're in positives.
So, I like so for me, I like the incorporation of the technology, the kind of conversation of new versus old situation.
Yeah.
It's funny. They put the reference in there instantly with like LeBron as a child with the Nintendo. Yeah. And all of our parents was, going at us about, y'all need to stay away from these games, Y'all spend too much time on the game.
Yeah.
Which then us as even adults now, some of us looking and they're like, man, these kids don't go outside and do this, that, and the other. Like you still have this play of the old way versus the new way. And that's And I think the whole movie kind of plays in that. So I thought that story element was cool.
It plays in that.
I'll say that that's cool.
Let's see, what else was pretty cool about this movie? I did like some of the Easter eggs in this movie, especially when it came to Damian Lillard, and it was, I guess it was Dame time when they did like the slow motion thing.
Yeah.
And then it was like Back to the Buckets, which was like for Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Like there's some Easter eggs in this movie, and then like when LeBron James gets sucked into going into Toon World, and you see all the different Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and you're like looking at the world that he's passing. That was cool. Like there were some cool Easter eggs in this movie, and so that's what I feel like they were trying to do for the people our age.
Yes, I think
to bring it in
to make like because they knew we would go see it.
Yeah,
and so they dropped stuff for us.
Yeah.
I was definitely for that. I want to say also I like the inclusion of WNBA stars.
Oh yeah.
In the movie, like as being some of the talent pool that the Goon Squad.
Bro, you got a WNBA player on 2K22 as well, like on the cover. Like,
oh
hey,
yes. So I was like,
going. Yeah,
it's totally there. Not to mention, I ain't gonna lie, I was biased whenever I seen Nneka Ogwumike in there.
Oh, yeah.
She went to school out here with us in this area. Went to high school with me, so seeing her, I like instantly got on like social media and was like, "You in this movie? Like what? It's crazy." So, but to see her and then Diana Taurasi being used as talent sources, I thought that was really cool. Like to keep that inclusive, and so that was a really cool aspect of the movie
for sure. What about the grandma when they had her doing the Matrix thing? I thought that was pretty dope. It's like she's the one. So like that was cool.
Thank you. You kind of tapped on the same. Wavelength that I was going for, because my positive was the way that they spun the Looney Tunes story in general. When you show up and the only one left of the property is Bugs there, and everyone else is was enticed with the idea of being able to be more focused and like seen more by the algorithm. He says, "Hey, you can be whatever you want to. You can be, all of a sudden highlighted." And to me, I think that kind of played up to the idea that like the Looney Tunes low key are kind of. I make Looney Tune references in front of young people sometimes, and some of them are like, "What?" Like the Looney Tunes don't hold the same place in culture, and so I thought that was a neat way of having them all off trying to do something else to make sure that they're still remembered,
for sure.
And so I thought that was kind of cool.
I thought that was good,
and the jokes made about putting them in the different scenarios. I
like that. What about LeBron and them kind of making fun of themselves when he was talking about athletes becoming actors? That's never a good idea. I thought that was funny.
The movie was very self-aware, and I think not even just for this one, but even making reference to the old one. Like I think they were purposely saying like in general. None of the times we put athletes in movies.
Because we got to be honest with ourselves. Like between MJ and LeBron, they make Ray Allen from He Got Game look like an Oscar-worthy performance. We got to be honest.
And to be honest, like Ray plays like one character like throughout that whole movie, like one emotion. He's just angry.
That ain't even react. That's Jesus Shuttleworth, man. That's Jesus Shuttleworth.
We'll just put it up as Jesus. Yeah. But no, I mean it's true. Like Jordan. Well, I'll save that part for when we get into negatives a little bit. But on the positive side, I think LeBron did what's to be expected. I know a lot of people kind of tore into him like he wasn't as good as Jordan, but I'm like, Jordan, one, I think had a lot more screen presence during his era. Yeah. Jordan was the icon of the 90s. Yeah. He was on everything from Hanes commercials to this. You could tell he felt a little more comfortable in front of a camera. Yeah. But I don't think LeBron did. I think he did what you could expect.
LeBron wasn't a good actor. We got to be honest. Like,
so if we get
I was actually surprised because I thought he would do a little bit better. But I do understand that this was. No. This was a lot.
To me, he did exactly what you could expect LeBron to do.
I don't know, man. I thought he'd be a little bit better.
I've never seen a commercial with LeBron in it where I thought
he'd be a little bit better than that. It didn't even seem like he was trying, man. It sounded like he was reading straight from the script, but
I think he was giving his best he could give.
Do you have any more positives you want to say? Or I think as far as that, I think visually, obviously, this is going to be visually better. Like I said, Lucasfilms was the one that worked on this, Industrial Light and Magic, so they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, the 2D to 3D animation, like it looked good.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. The upgrade of animation was one, the graphics were good, but also it's kind of shows the necessity for modern kids. This is what they're used to looking at. Is pretty cool stuff. Not saying that cartoons aren't there either, but kids like that type of stuff now.
Right.
When we were little, heck, I remember watching Beast Wars and thinking this was fire just because it was 3D. So like, I can only imagine what kids now expect. So I thought it was a good look.
Let's get into the negatives now. So, like I said, I didn't think this was a terrible movie, but when I think about what Warner Brothers has done with the heavy IPs, I think of Ready Player One, right? I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but it's heavy IPs, a lot of intellectual properties going on. But it was received better. And the reason why I think that was received better and this one is kind of slammed by critics with the heavy IPs is because I kind of feel like they lose the storyline a little bit. And some of the IPs I felt like were fillers in this movie a little bit. Okay. And it was kind of fillers and it kind of took away from the heart of the movie. See, Ready Player One, the message is clear. You get it. You get what they're doing. They're trying to say, don't rely on technology. You have to live in the real world too, whatever. But this one was just like, you kind of lose the heart of the movie because it starts off with Dom and his father LeBron, and that's a good story. Like, okay, my dad just wants me to focus on this, but I really like this. And then we kind of lose that and we don't get that back until towards the end of the movie. Yeah. And so they fill up a lot of this movie with just intellectual properties the whole time. And I feel like they did that for the people our age and even people older, right? Because they have a little bit of everything in this movie. But it was cool for a little bit, but then I was like, all right, it's a lot now. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a little bit too much. Well, and that's how I felt about that.
Going along with that, when it came to the IP, so I didn't necessarily feel the way you did when you talking about it took away from the story, but along with using the IPs like that, as many intellectual properties as it had, I think that there was some Easter egg choices that I was like. There were some placement pieces that I was like, maybe those don't belong.
Like Clockwork Orange?
Yeah. So, I noticed that Clockwork Orange group in the background of the basketball game.
How you gonna put them in the movie and you gonna take down Pepe Le Pew?
Well, and I was just like, it's just a rough.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I can get that, but I was just like, that's not the most.
That don't even make sense.
Kid friendly, like. Granted, they had Game of Thrones characters, was not kid friendly either. Yeah. But I was like. There's specific things that those.
But that's how they were trying to reel us in, though. They're like, hey, the adults, we got y'all. Like, y'all grew up on this. We got you. I know you like this.
I think for the game, like for when we see all the intellectual properties brought in during the game, that part, I won't lie, was a little distracting for me because then I'm sitting there hunting, like instead of watching this, focusing on the actual game that's happening. Yeah. I was trying to see who else is in this audience out here.
It was very distracting. I'm like, there's Penguin. Oh, there's Robin. Oh, snap. There's I'm doing that the whole time. And then on top of that, another negative, I didn't even understand the rules of this basketball game. Like, it's just, like, I'm learning as LeBron is learning. Like, oh, snap, they got 1,000 points now. So one thing I picked up on is, okay, you get style points. Okay, that's cool. But then Algae Rhythm is the one who can technically control the scoreboard. And so I'm like, well, how does that happen? If he's controlling the scoreboard, technically he can win.
Yeah,
but
in general, I felt like the rules are.
I don't understand the rules.
I don't think we got even a good enough explanation from Dom of what his game was about. Because I was like, at first I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking, I'm getting straight nostalgia vibe. This is NBA Jam, just a modern version of NBA Jam, where you can make your own character into it. So I was like.
He upgraded himself to 100%. Hey, I would do the same thing.
Anybody. I remember playing Live 98 back in the day, and I would stack my teams out. I would go to the stats and just change
everybody on 100%.
Yeah, I'm shooting 3-pointers.
Everybody.
I'm shooting threes with Shaquille O'Neal from half court and buckets.
So this gave you NBA Jam's vibe? That's how you felt?
So the structure of the game, but yes, by the time we get to the end, I get that Algae Rhythm is supposedly manipulating things to make the game a little, in his favor. But the rules aren't structured, but at the same time,
we don't get
the Looney Tunes game in the original Space Jam ain't super structured. You can't go in there.
It felt more like basketball. It felt like more basketball. Yeah, this one is like straight video game.
But I think that's also the point of the movie.
That's the point of it. Yeah,
because remember, the kid is not super big into basketball.
Right.
He's in
right.
So I was like,
no, it wasn't bad. I just didn't really understand what.
I'm saying. I mean, I do agree with you though. It does take away from the basketball game that you're having.
It does.
If you're challenging him to a basketball game, that's not.
But I will say the stakes are higher in this one because he's technically playing for everybody that's in this video game world now.
Yeah, when everybody gets brought in.
Yeah, when everybody gets brought in. So the stakes were higher on that.
I will say another negative for me.
It was too dang on long. It was long.
I think it was longer than it needed to be.
When it got to about an hour and 45, I said, "Dang, I think this is
definitely
good."
longer than it needs to be.
You could have probably cut out the first 10 minutes of the movie and just gotten straight to it. And
I think there's more fat in the middle that could be trimmed.
Or maybe it's something like.
But yeah, I'd say that. But a bigger thing was just so the story's premise, the story's point is good. Mm-hmm. The point is good that everybody needs to be themselves. That's cool.
That was good.
And even showing that same idea with the Looney Tunes being in other places where they just don't fit because they need to be in that part is good. The story itself following Algae Rhythm, that the major plot driver is that
Don Cheadle was so extra in this movie.
Oh well, I mean that's the second thing. That's all on its own. But what Algae Rhythm wants to be recognized. The algorithm just wants to be recognized by people, and I was like, and that's why he kidnaps the kid. Like he kidnaps.
Did that make sense to you?
It just was a weak. Yeah, that was a weak driving point. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Like he said, he's gonna let it slide a little bit because it's a kids movie. But no, that just wasn't enough for me. Like writing wise, I was like, why did you decide to make an algorithm?
An algorithm.
The person. I was like, I would have personally the way I would have spun that. Make him the game designer.
Yeah.
Make Don Cheadle the game designer. He can still be the interface and the face of Algae Rhythm on the inside.
Right.
But give him a reason to put him into the game because he feels disrespected. LeBron went on the whole thing and said, "This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard."
He did say that.
This is a stupid idea.
But they did it anyways.
But I was just like, instead of making the plot point doesn't make sense for the computer to be upset that or wanting recognition.
Yeah.
The computers.
I thought about that too.
I was I
thought that was
that felt weak to me.
Yeah, that was.
I was like,
that was a little,
connect that to a person and people care more.
That was a little off. Let's think about Looney Tunes, right? So when we watch Space Jam, we're looking for Looney Tunes at the end of the day. I didn't feel like I got enough Looney Tunes in this movie. I felt like Bugs Bunny was shining and. Of course, Tasmanian Devil spins a couple of times, but it's not. It was kind of weak as far as like just the overall Looney Tunes and them not really shining to me. You get Tweety Bird a couple of times every time LeBron got knocked out, but Tweety Bird had a much bigger role in the first Space Jam, and she was funny. There's just a lot of characters that we don't really see them do much in this movie as far as Looney Tunes go because they spent so much time focusing on IPs, all these different distractions around you on the court. And just trying to take you to, oh, hey, this is Superman rescuing you from the train. Oh, this is Batman here. This is King Kong. This is Jurassic Park. So it was just a lot of Warner Brothers in a way kind of letting you know, like, hey, look what we've done over time, right? And that was cool, but it was just, like I said, it was distracting. And we watched this at the end of the day for Looney Tunes. So we watched this for Looney Tunes and we watched this for the best basketball player in the world. That's what we watched this for. So just the fact that you underutilize Looney Tunes is kind of weird to me.
See, I guess
I don't really.
And I don't know if I thought that they were underutilized.
Oh man, come on, look at that again. Come on.
What I mean,
you probably ain't gonna go back. I ain't probably
gonna go back and watch it again. I mean, it was entertaining. It made me laugh.
They were underutilized, bro. Think about it. Bugs Bunny was doing all the time, and then let's talk about Lola Bunny. Like. In the first one, it was kind of like a little love story between Lola Bunny and Bugs Bunny, and in this one, it's like, wait, they're barely even talking to each other.
You going down there, but you going down that rabbit hole right there, trying to compare two different.
No. I'm just saying, like, but Lola Bunny, like, she sees Bugs Bunny, she's like, oh, Bugs, like, so it's there, then it just like goes away, and then it's like, okay.
But it also feels like that's. I mean, is that really a necessary point in the movie? Do we need that? Them to have a love story?
Well, they don't even have to have a love story. You could at least just have them communicating more.
I mean.
The only thing, like 2 or 3 sentences to each other. I was like, all right.
I mean,
I guess.
I do agree.
That's how you want to do it.
So I hear what you said when you pointed out that Bugs Bunny does most. Yes, most of the chatter comes from.
Where's Daffy Duck at? Where's Daffy Duck? He's funny.
I'd say Daffy has the next amount of screen. The next biggest amount of lines in the movie.
Yeah.
In terms of the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Bugs is the host of that show. Like Bugs.
Notorious P.I.G.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That part cracked me up. That part was funny to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Cool. That was cool.
I was not expecting that out of nowhere.
That was cool. That's I'm not gonna put that as a negative.
But
cool,
in all honesty, I mean, I get what you said. I guess I didn't feel that way, but at the same time, I did feel that it was. We spent a lot of time hunting down people, and then I felt like the actual training piece of it to get them to play ball. Seemed a little small, but again, I don't think kids want to sit there and watch the Roadrunner learn how to play basketball.
No, this was a cool movie, man. This was a cool movie.
Heck,
I think it's like I said. We're giving our positives and negatives as a critic standpoint. Obviously, I think this is a really cool movie for kids, though. There may be some people that like this better than the first just because visually they find it to be better. But for me, it just wasn't quite there. But I did enjoy it. I thought there were funny moments. I thought that Warner Brothers was pretty conscious of what they were doing. But what's weird to me is, I felt like the commentary of this movie was self-serving corporations. But then Warner Brothers ended up being a self-serving corporation.
I did not pull that.
By just throwing us all this stuff. And this was kind of all right, our target audience is going to be kids. And for the people who grew up on Space Jams, we're giving you a middle finger. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you, here's Game of Thrones. Here's this. Here's all these different characters. Here's Batman. Here's all this other stuff. The reason why I say it's a self-serving corporation is because in the beginning of the movie, when they're sitting down and they're talking about what they're trying to do, right? And LeBron is like, I'm not with that. Athletes can't be this and whatever. That's what I'm saying. They were it was like a satire of self-serving corporations, but that's what you ended up doing. You ended up doing this by just giving. Listen to me. I understand what Warner Brothers is, bro. I know what you've done. So I don't have to see it throughout the entire movie of you just gloating in my face of everything that you've done. I know what you are, Warner Brothers. Y'all the top dogs of this. I get it. I know it.
I did not feel that.
I know that.
I did not feel that
already.
At all.
Enough is enough. I get it. All you needed to do was whenever he's falling into the galaxy of going to the Toon World, incorporate your Game of Thrones, everything you've done, get on your brag, whatever. I get it. That was cool. And then you just continue it for the rest of the movie. I thought that was just it's middle fingers to you guys at y'all's age. Take this and, do what you do.
Man, what?
I'm like, come on now. But overall, it was a cool movie.
I am not for none of that you're saying right now.
I'm just,
I didn't feel that way.
Oh, that's all right. I know you weren't going to.
Again.
I was going to keep that to myself. But
no. I'm glad you put it out there. Because this is the issue I didn't have with everybody coming at this movie in general.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Again, you got to pop off your rose-colored lenses for the old Space Jam movie. At the same time. I think that a lot of this stuff is getting hammered really hard. There are a lot of bad things
this is a cool movie.
There are a lot of things I don't like about the movie.
It's great for kids. It's great.
It is.
It's great.
But there are a lot of great. There are a lot.
I already know you've done Jurassic Park. I already know that. I already know that. I already know you've done King Kong. Y'all find a reason to nitpick it. I've already know you've done King Kong. I've already seen these things. Ready Player One was showing me stuff already. I've seen this. I've seen all.
But have you thought about it from another viewpoint? The kids watching this. The kids that it's
I did think about that though. Since we are
incorporating cool stuff for them.
No, I get it. I think that's cool. And I think it's going to challenge kids to actually go back and look some of this stuff up.
As I said, 30-year-olds, it's not for you.
I know it's not for us. I know it's not for us. If they go back and look up Clockwork Orange, that's y'all's fault though. I'll tell you that right now.
That was a bad
that was Warner Brothers. That was stupid. You'd have already took out Pepe Le Pew and you're going to put these dudes that was sexually assaulting women in the movie. In the background. That's stupid. That's dumb. I don't know why you did that.
They made little drops here, there, lots of stuff. But I was like, why did that one make the cut?
The Droogs. They got the Droogs from Clockwork Orange in the background cheering on the space. I'm like, y'all some fools, bro. They didn't think we were gonna catch it.
No. I'm sure
they didn't think we were gonna catch it.
Someone knew they were gonna catch it, but I was just like, Just given what they represented in that movie.
That's not the
reference
like,
to me.
Wow, like kids gonna look that up. The Droogs.
If you wanted to throw a random, poster inside of the Warner Brothers studio for it, that's a different story.
Yeah, bro, that was a little bit much. That was. Much.
I was just like, not have them.
But this is a cool movie, man. What score do you give it, bro? I'm gonna give this movie. I'll tell you my score first because it's.
Go ahead.
You think I'm dogging this movie out? I'm not. It's a 70% movie. It's 70%.
See, I gave it a 55.
See, there you go.
I give it a lower cut.
I give it 70% because let me say, this movie doesn't speak to me at all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It doesn't speak to me. This is not for me though, so that's why all my biases are out of it. If I can enjoy it, if it's cool, if I know that this is for kids, because I'm just imagining like if I had some kids over as I was watching the movie, they would all be ecstatic. They would love this movie. And that's what I'm thinking about because this was Warner Brothers. Like I said, the target audience was for kids. They didn't care about us. They just threw in a couple of IPs just to be like, I hope you enjoy that. This is not for you.
And again, like
this wasn't for us.
So for me,
it's a 70% movie.
It's definitely 5.5.
Wow, that's
or
low.
55%.
That's low.
For
this
me,
is Malcolm D. Lee. Come on, bro. I'm gonna give you 70%.
I'm not.
He's cold-blooded.
Write us. You can write us in the comments if you're upset about that.
No, I'm
not giving it that.
It's a 70%, and the only reason why it's getting 70% is because these are the things I felt like it was too much. It was just like a marketing campaign, advertising.
The movie is a one-time watch for me.
That was a one-time watch for sure.
It's a one-time watch. I like what was there. LeBron's performance was what I expected it to be, but it's not good enough for me to go back and cut it on.
But let's just say LeBron has a bright future on the production side of things because he has a production company. I think he's going to do very good with that.
I don't think
your acting career is just as good as Jordan's, though. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, no. I think he's a little less than Jordan, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, I think, like I said, was more comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Keep playing ball, bro. Like, keep playing ball. Keep doing the things you do for
you're still a four-time champ,
else.
though. You're still a four-time
You know what I'm saying?
Like the best to ever do it.
Keep doing the things you do for the community. I understand that you're not aiming to become a full-time actor.
Can you raise your score up just a little bit, though? Come on.
It is 55.
55%?
It's going to stay at 55.
It's a kids movie, bro. Why are you going to come to the kids movie
Because
like
at the same time, just like you said, it's not something that super speaks to me. But at the and I will admit, just like the rest of you 30-year-olds, do I like the old one better? Yes. But I'm not going to sit here and act like...
I'm not comparing it, though. I'm not comparing
yeah, you can say that.
Hey, but hold on. Let's think about this,
things you made.
I'm thinking about this, though, for a second. Okay. So the first one has things in it that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
You're gonna remember it because you were 8 and it was impressionable.
No. Think about this. No, think about this. We were talking about
this. You were 8 and impressionable.
Literally before we shot this, we talked about it. 8 and
impressionable.
Bro, remember when the girl says, "Wanna be gone."
Yeah, I know. I remember talking about that. That was hilarious.
Bro, there is none of that in this movie at all. None of it.
That's because that's not the. You can't.
No, there's none of that.
You folks went into this, including you.
No,
y'all are going in there expecting them to just remake the same movie with LeBron.
The soundtrack was weak too. The soundtrack was very weak in this movie. Very weak, bro. I actually went to Apple Music and I saw it said Lil Uzi Vert. I turned that off immediately.
Look,
the soundtrack and the original had Seal. You had D'Angelo. You had Jay-Z, Changing Faces, Monica. I Believe I Can Fly, but that man is canceled. But that was a classic. So you had everything in this movie. But you had like the soundtrack. He who shall
not be named.
That's what I'm saying. And the soundtrack did a good job of like in the first one of like setting the tone for the movie. Like I said, like when Charles Barkley was looking like a scrub, the basketball Jones.
Yeah.
That was basketball. Look, like I was like, man, I didn't feel none of that in this movie, bro.
No. It's new stuff. No,
I understand it's new stuff.
It is new stuff for a new generation.
This is all about visually pleasing. I get it, but I still enjoyed it. It's a 70% movie, straight up.
Visually pleasing.
You could at least bring up your score just a little bit because it's all right. Well, I liked it more than he did.
And you talking about the
I liked it more than he did, obviously.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining. I laughed at a couple of jokes from the Looney Tunes. But at the same time,
that's cold-blooded, man.
There's a lot of stuff for me that I was like, nah.
That's cold-blooded.
I'm not going to just take this away like that.
That's cold-blooded.
It is a 55% movie for me. It's not as low as I think that.
But 55% is actually pretty good.
Like I said, it's above. It's in the average range.
Technically, 55% is an F.
It's in the average range.
Actually, 55% is an F.
Yes, it is. But it ain't a 32. It ain't a 31.
It's not a 32. This is a passing grade for me. It's 70%.
No.
I think y'all just need to stop hating on LeBron. Stop hating on LeBron. Stop hating on all. I mean, it's cool. It's a kids movie. I'm not here to tear apart a kids movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had to make sure that the criticisms that I have line up with my score. I think about other movies that I gave a 72, I can't put this up there.
Well, this is a 70% for a kid's movie. This is not a 70% for a grown man's movie. If I'm going based off of grown man like nitpicking, then this is a 30% movie. Then
I think I can still put some kids movies ahead of this one. So
everything is above this.
It's got to be.
I was even thinking about Ralph Breaks the Internet. That's pretty IP heavy too, and stuff like that. But they just do a better job of executing. They didn't execute as well with this, and that's why critics are coming at this so hard. But look, hey, just lay off the gas. Don't get on them. I mean, acting is gonna be bad in these kind of movies. It is what it is. That's what happens when you take NBA superstars and put them in movies. Don Cheadle was overacting, but I think they wanted him to be an overacting villain and be extra, and that's fine. Don Cheadle, I think, needs to stay away from kids' movies after this. But that's my opinion. I think this is pretty good. It's a 70%. I recommend it for kids. Definitely check it out.
I think everybody should watch it. Get your own rating.
Kids are going to enjoy this movie. I highly recommend it. Parents, if you grew up on watching Space Jam, you'll enjoy some things about it. You won't enjoy some things about it, but that's just what it is.
But just remember, yours was made for you in 98, 99, whenever that was it dropped. This is not the one.
But I will say this. I will say this. Don't listen to these critics too, because Space Jam, when it first came out, was like a 40% movie by critics, and the aggregated score over time went up. So this movie may age well better later. They may not appreciate it now, but maybe 10 years from now, this will be a 90% movie. So just think about that as well.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
Either way, it's straight. It's straight.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It's a straight movie, and just remember, nothing is going to be able to touch what spoke to you. You can't go into this movie and just watch it for what it is.
Basketball Jones.
Don't get caught up in
Basketball Jones.
There's a certain nostalgia button. There's a nostalgia button for all of us. Every individual on this planet. Just like whenever the 7-year-olds who watch this new one, when they become 35, and if they make another Space Jam, then guess what they'll say? Oh, well, this can't be as good as the other one, because it's gonna hold a place in their heart.
The soundtrack is garbage.
I'm not coming at y'all.
The soundtrack is garbage.
The soundtrack again reflects the newer generation of kids.
Where's the Quad City DJs? They should have opened up with that. That would have been dope, or at least like remix it some in the beginning.
So see, that's another thing too. As you listen, so this is funny because there's a scene in the movie where they've taken elements from, like, there's a lot of nods that they make throughout the movie, period, to the old one. They the opening highlight sequence, the way they do is similar to the way they did that.
Lebron,
but even during the game, they play a remix of another Space Jam song, of one of the original soundtrack songs, but there's a remix on it in the game. While they're playing
is it the Everybody Get Up?
I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. I wish I
can't remember because it didn't sound good. That's
incorrect. Oh my God.
You are a music person. This man is a music person. He can't even remember the song because it wasn't hidden.
No.
Let's be honest.
Because I remember the only reason I made note of it was because I said, that's cool. They even put another reference to the old movie in there through this, but it's remixed, of course. Because at first when it drops, I thought it was the original, and I was like. But then all of a sudden it changes up a little bit.
Okay,
and I'm not saying that all these artists that are on the new soundtrack are people I bump. You know this.
Oh, I know that. I don't.
You know this. There are some new school people that you keep trying to put me on, and I'm like, nah, because I stay. There's certain things that just speak to me. I grew up with these guys, and I chase these guys, and I follow them musically all the time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the stuff some of the new guys, like you told me.
Man, I miss the original Monstars.
They were there.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high.
Hey, but the original Monstars were there. They showed up.
Yeah, right.
They were there twice.
Yeah, they were there twice. I missed that
because I laughed at that a little bit.
Yeah, them coming out pretty gangster.
But yes, like that's all.
That's cool.
That's all I'm saying. Just remember,
Playtime AD. Oh, the eyebrow joke for AD. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. The movie has moments.
I laughed in this movie.
Give the movie its credit.
This movie 70%. I said raise your score just a little bit, bro. We're not gonna cut this off till you raise it a little bit. Give it 60%. Give it 60. This is a kids movie. Give it 60.
I know better kids movies. I'm sorry.
I know
Y'all
it too, but good.
Write in the comments if y'all agree.
I'm trying to hold it down for the culture. I'm giving it 70%.
but
are you LeBron haters? I don't care what
I
you say.
I ain't even a LeBron hater no more.
I'm giving 70%. Oh, well, he's with LA. Yeah, he's an LA fan.
Yeah, I used to be solid with Kobe. I'm still mad that Space Jam didn't come out when Kobe was alive.
70%.
R.I.P. to the great.
70%.
R.I.P. to the great. I can't give it 70 simply because, like,
well, Kobe technically was supposed to be the producer for this movie, yet, I believe.
As a shout out to Nick, I will move it up to 60. I will move it to 60.
I'm about to say, you went to high school with her. You better move
I
this.
will do that because she's always been a great person, still a great person.
She's going to send you a message and be like, I saw you was talking slick.
But out of respect for my favorite
give him
player,
this work for disrespect.
For my favorite player, Kobe Bryant, who should have really been the next Space Jam.
He didn't want to be in the movie though. He was going to produce it.
And I think he would have totally been he'd have been probably a worse actor than LeBron. But I just, as a kid, I remember just being, man, they gonna make another Space Jam. Kobe gonna be that dude. And it never came. So out of respect for
Jackie Chan was supposed to be in space. They had so many different ideas for this movie. I think Jackie Chan was supposed to be they were gonna do something different. Yeah, Jackie Chan. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, Jackie Chan Space Jam. They were gonna do something like that.
See, if I had known that before, my score might have jumped up because no matter what happens, Jackie Chan and Space Jam is not the way that needs to go. Not if we're doing well. I mean, I guess if they change the sport.
They probably would.
To an MMA, to fighting.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
But I don't. No. And I love Jackie, but no.
Yeah. Either way, this was a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, I think it's good on its own.
Good for kids. So 70%.
Give it its credit. No.
Yeah, we close it out.
60. Sorry.
Yeah. 60. Hey, I appreciate the 60 though.
Yeah, I'll give you the 60.
I appreciate you bumping it a little bit.
That's for NECA.
I appreciate it.
That's for the BFND. I got you.
For the culture, man. Malcolm D. Lee, hey, you did your thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucasfilms, you did your thing visually.
Agreed on that.
You did your thing. LeBron, you're LeBron, so.
Yep. You do so much good outside of that. You didn't have to be a great actor.
Exactly.
But tell us what you think in the comments, folks. You know what I mean? If maybe I'm too harsh for a kids movie.
He's a little harsh, just a little bit. He's just a little harsh.
Maybe Kevin is, maybe Kevin is in the right place, or maybe both of us are wrong and it's higher or lower than where we at. Let us know. Don't forget to like our video, subscribe to our page, and look for more stuff coming out from us. But until next time, y'all take it easy.
Peace.
Oh boy. You had all these criticisms and then gave it a 70. Oh my God.